What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to some more Stadium 2. Looks like we're in semis of the Challenge Cup. So let's just get through this and then get over to I got a super cool team for the Poke Cup. You'll probably recognize it when we get there. Okay. What do we think? What are we doing? What are we thinking? Alakazam wins up against Poliwrath and Gengar. I think we need Poliwrath to be able to deal with Blissey and Umbreon, just as like the wall breaker. I think Poliwrath is really important here, but I don't want to lead it. Scyther could also line up pretty well against Umbreon, and can get some decent damage in against Blissey as well. I don't think Amistar does anything for us. Arcanine doesn't look great. Meganium doesn't look awful, but I think if we're bringing Scyther, I don't want Meganium because then we're kind of weak to Xatu. Especially if we have Poliwrath and Scyther, then we're really weak to Xatu. So maybe we need Amistar then. We have 4 continues. Let's just do that. Poliwrath, Scyther, Amistar. Let's just jump right in, see what this does. I don't think I wanted to lead Poliwrath, actually. Okay. We have Mud Slap. So let's Mud Slap. Uh-huh. Well, this is really awkward. Oh. Of course they hit. They hit and get the crit. Yet we missed through 1 level of evasion. This is really awkward because Zap Cannon is super effective against everything we have. You know what? I'm going into Amistar and we're going to sit here and look at each other. Oh! This is good. You know, I'm actually okay with this. I'm actually pretty okay with this switch in. The question is do I still want to go for the double team strat? I kind of wanted to start going for a rollout here, actually. I really like the idea of just getting a good rollout going. Withdraw doesn't seem like it does anything against Espeon or Gengar, so doing that doesn't help us. And if, like, we lose Amistar, it's not that big of a deal. We can switch into Scyther. Yeah, that's going to be a 2-shot on Amistar, so unfortunately, looks like we're probably going to lose him. Yeah, because that did literally nothing. Well, we might have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Those first 2 turns were really brutal for us, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Well, I'm just going to click Fury Cutter. We're faster, that's good to know. We might be able to live another one depending on how much of a roll that was. That crit was great. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Well, Fury Cutter, I need you to not miss, buddy. I need you to connect here. Okay, cool. One down, but we're severely damaged. And our Pokemon in the back is also not in great shape, so this could be a little rough. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this one out. I was really hoping they would try to go for a double team there. Okay, looking how this played out, I don't know if I love Amistar. And I might just want Alakazam instead just to be able to deal with his Gengar. How much you want to bet they connect here? Pleasantly surprised. I also wonder if Mudslap is actually our best damaging attack here. I'm going to keep going for it because it looks like all they have is Zapkin, and I really don't ever want this to connect. You know what? I'm going to pull up the calculator on that one. So, one level of accuracy drop puts them at 0.75 times 50% accurate for Zapkin, and puts them at 37.5% to be able to hit that, and yet they hit it twice. Yeah, that sounds about like my luck. Okay, what does Alakazam actually do here for us? It hits Poliwrath and Gengar super effectively. We kind of get to stall out against Espeon and Umbreon. Well, Espeon and Xatu. And we can do like pretty good damage with Hyper Beam against Espeon and Xatu as well. And actually Blissey. We can actually Hyper Beam Blissey for a ton of damage too. I kind of like Meganium just to like try to stall out the game. But I think I need Scyther and Poliwrath, and that just leaves us exceptionally weak to Xatu. Arcanine also has access to Dig for Gengar, but it doesn't hit anything else super effectively, so I don't think Arcanine's good. I don't care for Amistar, especially now that we know they have Zapcannon. So maybe it is just Meganium. We can Earthquake the Gengar and Toxic everything else and go for Giga on Poliwrath. That doesn't seem awful. But do I like it more than Alakazam? I think the answer is no. I'm going to lead Alakazam with Poliwrath Scyther in the back. Let's try this. I was hoping we could get to Poke Cup today, but if these last two fights are as awful as they seem to be so far, we might be here all episode. Okay, they lead on Xatu, which is actually not that awful for us, because I'm just going to set up a double team. I'm going to sit here and double team in front of them. And then just try to chip away with them with Psychic. Miss. Of course it connects. Why would it not connect? Poliwrath can't hurt this thing. Scyther probably shouldn't switch in. Like, Alakazam just has to stay in here. I'm going to go for a Hyper Beam. They're going to switch out. What are they going into? If it's Gengar, like, that's fine. If it's Blissey, I feel good. Umbreon is going to be able to take this pretty well. If they have, like, Feint Attack on Umbreon, then we're not in a great position. But we also have two counters to this in the back. Of course we miss. So I'm just going to go... I'm going to go into Scyther. I want to try to get some Fury Cutters up and going and try to get some decent damage. So what does this Umbreon do? That's the real question here. They're just gonna go for the feint attack. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully that's the best they actually have to hit this thing. We're gonna be here for a little bit, so buckle up. This fight is awful. This fight is absolutely awful. You know, we haven't clicked Mind Reader on Poliwrath yet, and it might actually come in handy here. Alright, at this point, I think Wing Attack is actually just going to do more damage, so I'm going to switch to Wing Attacks. And it's more accurate. It's 90 versus 100. Yeah, this fight is absolutely awful. Well, buckle up, because this ain't going anywhere, it don't seem like. Man, some of these fights have been absolutely awful. This is just another one of them. It just makes me laugh that, you know, they used on their Gengar last game, they used one double team and we missed our 100 accuracy move. So this time we used double team and they hit their, I believe, Flash's 90% accurate move. And now, you know, they have three of them up and we can't hit at all. It really does make me laugh how it feels so one-sided. And I guarantee it's just that this is my data, so this is how it has to be. Conscientious bias, there we go. That's the phrase I was looking for. Well, we're going into Poliwrath, and we're just going to click Submission, I guess, and hope we can connect eventually. Can Mind Reader miss? Okay. Because it has an accuracy check, so... Mud Slap double team. This is obnoxious. This is absolutely obnoxious of a fight. Are they going to switch? That's so good for us. That is absolutely insanely good for us. I can't make this stuff up. I literally can't make this stuff up. Oh, can't make this stuff up. Yeah, good job, Alakazam. And like I can't even try to set up double teams because they just switch into Umbreon and use Feint Attack on us. So like that doesn't even accomplish anything. So until I get rid of this Umbreon, we're just sitting here doing nothing. But because they're constantly switching the Umbreon in and out against what we're doing, we're just sitting here spinning our tires basically. And now Alakazam's going to get hit by a Feint Attack because we're locked into Hyper Beam for a turn. Hopefully they just go for a double team instead. Well, you know. Hopefully they just go for another one while we switch into Poliwrath. And then we can get a submission off. And then Alakazam can come in and deal with the Xatu. Alright. I believe we are faster than the Umbreon. Yeah, we are. So we're going to get a submission off before it's really good damage. But we're going to take recoil here. So now we literally just need to connect. We need to connect with anything to take this thing out. So I'm going to go for a water gun because if they switch out into Xatu, then I can get chip damage in on it. But they stay in. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. And now we're never going to hit it again. This game is brutal. This game has been brutal at times. So presumably they're going to go into Xatu here. We're going to switch into Alakazam and just click Psychic repeatedly. That's really bad. That's exceptionally bad for us because Alakazam's not at high enough HP to be able to take both of these out. So I'm going to have to stay in here and go for Mud Slap. We have Bright Powder on Poliwrath. That might have just saved us. That might actually save us. That has been the first time that has ever actually worked, I think. So at what point do they get tired of this and switch into Xatu? That's the real question. I was really hoping we could live one. Well, the question is I think we actually set up double teams now and just try to stall out against the Xatu. Like, sure, they have Flash, but Flash has to also connect through our double teams. I think it's correct to try to just stall this game out as long as possible with Alakazam if we can. Question is, what does this Espeon actually have to hit us? Alright, if Psychic's the best attack it has for us, then we should be able to set up pretty efficiently here. So now we play the waiting game for 20 minutes while we get set up. Of course they connect. They're at -2, we're at +2. Of course they connect. Of course. Okay. I think Scyther has not pulled its weight in this battle. I also think Alakazam didn't accomplish anything here. Poliwrath has been great. But, like, if they bring Gengar, I need Alakazam. So I think it's correct to still have Alakazam because it can just single-handedly deal with it. And, like, same with the Poliwrath. I think I need Alakazam specifically for those two. So the question is, do I want Meganium over Scyther? And I think the answer is actually yes. And I think I actually like leading on Meganium here. And just getting a Toxic off on whatever they start out with. And if it's specifically Gengar, we can go for Earthquake. Okay, this is great for us. Getting a Toxic off onto a Blissey, that's phenomenal. Especially if this thing is going to go for double teams. Of course we miss it. Of course we miss it. Like, we just need to connect Toxics this game. And I think we can reasonably win. Why did we curse Fire Blast? That's bizarre. So I'm going to go into Poliwrath if they're going to go for Fire Blast. And then we can get a submission off. I really don't want to submission a Blissey, though. That's going to do so much recoil to us. But, like, I don't really have another play other than, like, Mud Slap and chip away with him with Toxic. Yeah, I think that's actually the play. Just Mud Slap. Okay, they're going to switch out. Hopefully this isn't Xatu switching in, and we can actually connect this Mud Slap with something and get the accuracy drop on him. Okay, this is actually great. Okay, because now we can go back out into Meganium. We can go back into Meganium, take the Psychic, get another Toxic off. Keeping Meganium healthy this game, I feel like, is going to be critically important for us. Question is, how much does this do? Literally next to nothing. Cool. So the question is Toxic worth it, or do I just go for a Giga Drain here? It's going to be faster than me. I'm going to go for Toxic. We shouldn't be dead to crit. That miss was huge. That miss might have just actually won us this game. And now I'm going to go for Giga Drain. Try to get some recovery back while it sits here and spams Psychic. That's fine. Oh, come on. Come on. That's pretty good chip. All things considered, that's pretty good. So now I can go into Alakazam. We can take a Psychic. And, like, just stall out this game. Like, they have two Pokemon that are Toxic. I believe Toxic reverts to regular poison upon switching out. So if that's the case, we're really going to have to stall out against Blissey. But if it comes down to where we have a healthy Poliwrath in the back, then we can just go for the submission in the end game too. So here, I'm just going to set up. Like, this Espeon isn't doing anything. It's going to switch out, so we're going to get a free double team up. They're probably going back into Blissey here, actually. They do. Cool. This is fine. Like, if we can just prevent this Blissey from hitting us, we're fine. The fact that they didn't go into the Umbreon there also tells me that they don't have it. So I feel like Alakazam is exceptionally good here. Yeah, this is fine. You curse all you want. Poison is going to chip you away. That's all I care about. And in the meantime, I'm going to make Alakazam where he never gets touched. I don't need to attack. Whoops. Ah, yes. Berry juice. The held potion on my Blissey with 500 HP, basically. Really glad it's not leftovers. That would be absolutely awful. Alright, we're 4. This is 5. Is this cheeky? Yes. Is it working? Also yes. And that's all that I care about at this point. So we can get one more up. Blissey shouldn't go down to Toxic this turn. It should have at least one more turn. And then we can go for a Psychic. Yeah, that's great. The fact that that missed there is great. So now we can go for a Psychic. And if Psychic doesn't take it out, the Poison will this turn. So then if they switch into Espeon here, we can go for Kinesis. And if they go into something else, we can click Psychic. Okay. So now I'm just going to lower their accuracy until this thing goes away as well. This combination is so good for us. We haven't actually had an instance where this is the correct thing to do. But here, especially being able to pair it next to our Toxic Meganium, this is just absurd. Like, we can just prevent them from ever touching Alakazam. Alright, now I'm going to go for a Psychic. And hopefully Psychic plus Poison this turn is enough to take it out. Yep, it will be. So pending that this doesn't connect, Alakazam is set up. Cool. Alakazam should be able to just sweep through this endgame here then. Show me Poliwrath. Show me Poliwrath or show me Gengar. They can't have Umbreon here in the back, right? Okay, yep. So I'm just going to click Psychic, and this should be over. And we're going to get a continue. After being wiped by this trainer twice, we're going to get a continue here. Great. Alright, we have time for this finals battle. I want to finish this up today. I was really hoping we could get to Poke Cup, but evidently not today. So let's just jump into this next one. We have 3 continues for this one fight. Hopefully we can pull this out. Man, we're getting really close to being like done. Alright, old man. What do you have? What do you have? This team doesn't seem very good. Also seems really weak to Alakazam. I guess not really weak, but Nidoqueen and Primeape both get hit. Poliwrath hits Nidoqueen and P2. We also have, and Rapidash. And then Mudslap for like Vaporeon. Doesn't seem awful. Meganium, we can hit Vaporeon. And we have Earthquake for Nidoqueen. Arcanine hits exactly Scyther. We have Dig for Nidoqueen and Rapidash, so that actually seems good. Amistar doesn't seem great here. It also depends on like what we pair it next to. I think we had to have Poliwrath to be able to deal with the P2. Because otherwise we don't have a solid answer to it. Scyther doesn't line up against literally anything here, so that one's an easy omission. Amistar really doesn't either. Like, it hits Nidoqueen and Rapidash with Hydro Pump. But, like, Arcanine also hits both of them. I like Alakazam, Poliwrath, Arcanine. I think is where I'm leaning. I also really like Meganium. I've narrowed it down to those 4. The question is what do I want? Do I want a Toxic Stall the P2? Notably, P2 doesn't have Eviolite in this game because it doesn't have an evolution, and Eviolite doesn't exist, so it's not nearly the threat that it is in current gens. But, like, Meganium doesn't really hit anything else. We can Toxic Stall the Vaporeon, which also isn't awful. Man, I don't know if you all can hear that, but there's a siren going on outside, and I don't like it. It's real loud. Okay. I don't think it's Meganium. But, like, otherwise we don't have a solid answer to Vaporeon, so maybe it's Meganium over Poliwrath. But, like, what does Alakazam actually do for us? It only hits Nidoqueen, and everything else it just is, like, good against. Oh, I guess Primeape, but we're not really worried about the Primeape. But Alakazam's just so good, especially since we have Twisted Spoon. And it really partners well with Meganium if we want a Toxic Stall. Yeah, let's go Meganium, Alakazam, Arcanine. Let's go with this and see what we do. Okay. That's not a great start. So I'm just going to go into Arcanine here, and we can dig. They have Scyther. They have Scyther they can switch in on dig. But then they had to bring it in a Scyther against an Arcanine, so I'm fine with that exchange. Probably going for, like, Fire Blast here. Which, if this connects, is not going to be very effective. Yeah, I mean, that's okay damage. So yeah, we'll go for dig. Okay, they're going to switch out presumably into Vaporeon. Them switching this turn is actually pretty bad for us. Yeah, it is Vaporeon, so that means we're going to hit first, and then they're going to get a Hydro Pump off, which is really not great. Yeah, that did literally nothing. Okay, at least it's not Hydro Pump. Alright, Arcanine. You've got to stay healthy, bud. I need you for the end game. I need you to be able to take on this Rapidash right now, so out you go. Meganium, get in there. And I'm going to fire off a Toxic and then start firing off Giga Drains. We're going to take this. This is going to do, like, nothing. Literally. So we'll go for the Toxic. If they switch out, then we get a free Toxic. Cool. Presumably this is going back into Rapidash. Okay. So they're going into Rapidash. I'm going to get a Toxic off. Then I'm going to switch into Arcanine on their Fire Blast. And then go back into Meganium when... Oh, they have Poison Cure. Okay. That's actually fine. Like, the Meganium really wasn't... Like, the poison on Rapidash wasn't important. But Meganium is. So, we need to hope for Fire Blast miss, I hear. If they miss here, would be really good for us. That's exceptionally good for us. So they're going to switch back into Vaporeon. So I'm actually just going to switch back into Meganium. Okay. So now they're going to go into the Vaporeon here. I'm going to fire off a Toxic. Actually, they're going to switch back into Rapidash, so I'm actually going to go for an Earthquake. I feel really good about that play, if you want me to be 100% honest. Just like next leveling my opponent. Man, that did really good. Really good damage. Can we take a Fire Blast and take this thing out? Like, they continuously bring out this Rapidash against us, so they can't... I don't think we can take a crit. Like, our other option is go back into Arcanine and hope for another miss. Because I think the first Fire Blast did, like, 35. I think it's correct to stay in here and go for another Earthquake and hope we can live one. This might be a mistake. Meganium, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. Okay, so Rapidash down. We know they have a Vaporeon in the back, so I really want to preserve Meganium if possible. Arcanine's exceptionally, in super poor health right now. So we can presumably switch into... What does Primeape do against this? Literally nothing, because we have Alakazam. So I'm going to go into Arcanine to get the sack off on it, and then switch into Alakazam and go for Psychic. They probably are actually going to switch from the Primeape into Vaporeon when I go into Alakazam. So it might be correct to actually switch from Alakazam into Meganium. It might also just be correct to stay in and go for the Psychic on the Vaporeon to start getting chip damage done on it. And at that point, Vaporeon probably can't hurt Alakazam all that well. It might also be correct to just go for like a double team here to try to set up a late game sweep with Alakazam. The question is do I anticipate my opponent switching? And I think the answer is yes. So if that's the case, I think it's correct to just Psychic here. I think regardless of what our opponent does, I think it's correct to Psychic. I think I want to try to end this game sooner rather than later. And setting up double teams just means I'm delaying the inevitable, it feels like. Whereas going for Psychic here means that we start chipping away at this. I was gonna say, if we got like a special defense drop there, it would have just been taken out this turn. So yeah, we'll go for another Psychic. Hope for a crit, because I don't think a regular one's gonna be enough. Nope, really close. Now we get the special defense drop. Good job, Alakazam. We should be able to live one waterfall. Oh yeah. Crit would have been bad, but they didn't, so here we are. So now we can Psychic, the Primeape comes in, we Psychic again, and that should be game. And Psychic away. That should be GG on the Challenge Cup. Cool. We're done. We are all done with the Challenge Cup. Okay. Those last couple fights were insane. They were exceptionally hard, yeah. So glad to see that. Alakazam absolutely insane. Scyther had matches where it was good. Amistar was, if I remember correctly, the first couple fights were carried by it. Poliwrath did work this episode. Meganium letting us Toxic Solid won his multiple fights. And Arcanine really didn't do much for us, but when he did, it was probably the best thing we could have done. Okay. So, I think that's going to be it for me today. Next week, we're going to start in on the Pokeball Pokecup. The Pokecup Pokeball Cup. Yes. Let's, we got a little bit of time here at the end. Let's just talk about this team real quick. So this is the exact same team we played with on the Gym Leader Tower. The only difference is Frieza and Tesla are both level 52. Trogdor, Waluigi, and Venus are all level 51. Frieza no longer has Shadow Ball, instead has Thunder Punch. I really like that coverage, and we're hitting with our special attack, which is insanely high anyway. And then we dropped Rocky for Goro because I wanted a consistent way to be able to deal with the bulky normal types, specifically like Chansey, Snorlax, etc. So, yeah. This cup, you can have, it's anywhere from 50 to 55 on your Pokemon, but your entire team can't exceed a level cap of 155 on the Pokemon that you bring. So we can bring 2 52s and a 51 every time, and that would be, that would put us at the 155 mark. So, yeah, Goro, Frieza, and Tesla are going to be primarily who we lean in on for big damage, and then Trogdor, Waluigi, and Venus cleaning up the end game. So, that's gonna do it, everyone. We'll be back next week with some more Stadium. If you liked what you seen, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you're new here, subscribe, check out the previous episodes. I don't know why you would be starting on episode 24 or whatever we're on now, but, to each their own. So, that's gonna do it, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Peace.